What's happening, Facebook? Good to see you guys. Hey, my name's Ryan Cichelli, and I'm here with Mr. Tommy Gunn.
I'm in the house right now. Thank you, Ryan, for having me on the show.
I introduced you wrong. I apologize because you didn't have your Tommy Gunn gear on, actually.
Hey,
I just realized that.
I'm still Tommy Gunn regardless, with or without the gear. People know who I am. As soon as they hear me talk, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
guys, I'll give you a brief little breakdown on Tommy and how I met him. When was it?
this is back probably in May.
May?
I would say about May.
Yeah. April, do you remember when it was? May. All right. So about May or so, Tommy Gunn was out at this mud bog. How did you get out there?
I just my buddy Catfish Cooley, you guys should know who he is. He was up in town, and he was going to be at this mud bog. So naturally, he's in Michigan. So I'm not going to have to go to Texas this time. So I went to go see him in Michigan, and had a great time and everything. Shot some good videos down there. Met a lot of good people. But then next thing you know, we went around to the stage. There's Ryan and April, his wife April, over there, and hey, we just got to talking and
What? Yeah. And so what's cool about that is I knew Tommy Gunn is more like a comedian and a jokester. I saw some of his videos. I saw a lot of Catfish's videos, which led me to Tommy Gunn's videos.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know anything else about him. And what was great is I told him and Catfish, I said, get on and do a quick live stream with me, and let's share that we're together and having a good time, and give a little motivation and drop some knowledge on these guys. And so what happened was Tommy Gunn just went nuts with it, right?
I had a little bit of liquid courage in me, so I had no problem just spitting it out there for him. But it was a good thing to do, and I'm happy to be here again with them, and it's a good time right now. So
yeah, that's what kind of led us to even reaching out to Tommy Gunn to launch our debut podcast. So we'll touch on something else real quick. This podcast, we're launching it on Saturday. It's 5 o'clock now, 5 o'clock-ish, but we're going to consecutively be launching this every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And so you guys make sure you're tuning in. It's going to be every single Tuesday at 7 o'clock. But what was amazing is that he dropped a lot of love, and I could tell it was true passion and some real motivation. Whether it was a little whiskey courage.
Well, but behind the courage, the whiskey courage, I guess you can say is, I just have a true passion for it. I like reaching out to people. I like to get people, make people's day better. Is why I do this in the first place. There's been plenty of times where I've sat there long before I was a comedian, I guess you can say. I would just sit there and just be down and out. I would find a funny comedian or whatever I like, start watching their stuff, and that's why I'm doing the same thing. It's a good feeling to reach out to people and have them say, hey, I like what you're doing. You make me laugh. You make my days better. That's the greatest feeling in the world. Money can't buy that for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I got to throw this in there because you were telling me about it earlier. I'm happy you came back up north. I know you're from Michigan.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that a little bit.
North, yep.
But you told me that you at that mud bog. You had to get roughed up with some people, right?
It was a little bit of a moment. My buddy, I had to help out my buddy Catfish and everything, and it wasn't really a roughed up situation, but I take care of my friends. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you didn't hold it against us. That's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, they're good people. They're good people that hold the mud bog. I had nothing to do with them. Everything's kosher. We're good to go.
So, but what led from that, right? We did that video. We got some interest on it. We had a lot of fun doing the video, and then we stayed in contact. Not with ideas of doing more videos, or not with ideas of doing this podcast, but just as friends.
Yeah, just as friends. Yep.
Yeah, just as friends. And then, as this idea came to me, and as we said, Rob Sapp and I were talking about getting this together and doing this. We were like, man, who could we have on? And I said, man, we got to have fucking Tommy Gunn on.
Yeah, the fact that you guys had reached out to me is just, it's the most humble feeling in the world, that a fellow person from the state I live in actually reached out to me and said, hey, I want you to be on this podcast. This is actually, believe it or not, my second podcast I've ever done. A lot of people thought it was my first, but years and years ago, before I ever did videos and played the character I play on Facebook and stuff like that, I did a podcast called Moron Speak with some coworkers. It was hilarious. I was nervous. I was shaking like a leaf on there, but it was the coolest thing in the world because I'm like, hey, you got a lot of views on there. That's pretty sweet. But it's cool to be on another one.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you having you. We have a really fun evening plan. Right? We're gonna.
Yeah, these guys went all out for me. I'm getting a text message. Hey man, I got a party bus. I'm like, a party bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're throwing down for you. I'm like, hey, why not? I've had a lot of good times up north. I can tell you that. If anybody from Michigan's watching right now, I love being up here. It's just a different world from when you're living downriver, aka Metro Detroit. You come up north and it's an escape. So being in the city, it's just congested. There's all kinds of crime. I mean, there's crime everywhere, but it's way more condensed down there. So it's just cool to get away from all that stuff. And Mesick, Michigan, is right by here, and I had a lot of good times up at. He's actually my buddy Dustin linked me up to buddy Joey's uncle named Bunky. He actually just passed away with cancer last year, but it's not really like a sad thing for me to be sad about. It's just cool as hell to be right back up here to where I had so many damn good memories with those guys. And, him and his father-in-law, Jerry, he passed away not long ago too, but we're talking almost 10 years ago.
Right.
But just that feeling you get when you travel somewhere familiar is just a great, great thing.
And
so.
I didn't bring this up earlier, but actually I was born and raised in Mesick. Right?
Really?
My whole family. You go to the town and everybody's related to somebody.
Oh, it's small.
It's a good thing.
It's super, super small.
It's super small, but everybody knows everybody. And I was born and raised there, went to school there, and actually left, I think in like 9th grade or something like that. But
no kidding.
Yeah, so it's just a nice little area.
Oh, it is.
But I appreciate you doing this with me, man. I want to kind of hit on your character. For those of you that don't know who Tommy Gunn is,
do I have to show him? Let me show him.
You got to show him, right? You got to show him.
All right, so just bear with me. I'm going to disappear out of the shot for a second. But I'll show you guys what Tommy Gunn is here.
And we got to know as well, like where did this character get inspired from too? You just gotta give us all the good juice.
Oh, they're gonna know. They're gonna know me really well in a minute.
Things are about to get a little crazy.
Probably.
Now here's something cool that I'm going to touch on as well. While Mr. Tommy Gunn is getting in cast, is that we've been talking about doing this podcast for a while, guys. We do this on money, motivation, and business, and we've been talking about this podcast for a while, but we never did it. We never put action behind our words. And so when we reached out to Tommy, I'm talking to Rob Sapp, and I'm like, let's do this, let's make this happen. And we reach out to Tommy, he said, let's meet. And you say, 2 or 3 weeks. And so Rob Sapp and I put all this together in 2 or 3 weeks. This is our very first launch, or our very first podcast is our launch. But guys, when you make a decision is determined by new actions that flow from it, right? And so it's really important. If you make a decision and you say, I'm going to do this, and no new action flows from it, then it's a bullshit decision. But, oh goodness.
Look at this.
I feel like Tommy Gunn.
Where'd the other weird guy go?
I don't know, dude.
Dude's lame as hell. What the hell you mean? But, yeah, here I am. I'm Tommy Gunn. You might have laughed at me. You might have hated me. I don't know. It's up to you. It doesn't matter.
So where'd your character come from, man?
All right, well, we got to go. We got to disappear for a second.
All right.
Anyway, so this character right here, it was inspired by real-life people. I'm not going to name them by name. I don't want to do that because I was told
somebody.
They're not going to get offended. It's out of respect to them. They're old timers. I told them about they inspired me and stuff, but they're not tech savvy. They don't want nothing to do with Facebook and stuff like that. I respect that, so I'm not going to name them by name.
Okay.
But anybody that knows me in real life will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some old timers from West Virginia, down in out of Logan County down there, and this feller in particular always talks shit about everything. Everything. I got
a couple of those friends.
Yeah, and he would always, this is a true story. I'm going to do a true impression of him. He had a junkyard. He's got a junkyard. He's still there every now and again. Well, I go in there one day and I say, hey, what are you doing? I'm just reading this book right here. And this book right here is one bad son of a bitch. It's got everything you need to know about Chevrolets, GMs, GMCs, not your fucking Fords, your fucking Dodges. Everything you need to know about GMs. See where I'm going with this? Very, very brand particular. If you had anything to do with Ford, you're not on his level. So in order to be cool with him and have him say, hey, you're growing up, son. I remember when I got my GMC truck. He says, son, you're growing up. So that shit talking that he always dished out is where this came from. Because my little forte is I'd make fun of trucks and cars and stuff like that. That's what really sparked me. I like to do other kinds of stuff too, but that's what really grabbed people and really made people keep coming back. Instead of roasting people, I just roast vehicles. There's really no difference to me. I could go up and roast a person just as well as a vehicle. It's just I just like to do the vehicles. This is where we are. You know, it's just hilarious that people don't know it came from a real dude. You know, I want to say his name, but he's going to shoot me if I do that.
Right.
I don't want to get buried in a coal mine, so we're not doing that.
And so how long have you been doing this now?
Just over about a year and 2 months, actually. It's not very long, really.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy. So with what, you know, you're doing it pretty regularly, right? We see you on there, you know, roasting vehicles. But in a year and 2 months, you've created a very, very large following, which is amazing.
It's really cool. I mean, there's guys that's done it way faster than me that's went way beyond what I'm doing. But what the difference is, a lot of the guys are just themselves. You know, like, believe it or not, like Catfish Cooley, it's one of my best friends. He's like a brother. His personality in those videos is damn near identical to how he is in real life. You know, this is me turned up to 10. You know, this is a totally different Tommy you're seeing right here. You know, I'm not ever going to just go up to a random ass vehicle and just start running my mouth about it, because I'm not going to, you know, either go to jail for somebody getting offended, or I'm not going to get stabbed, or I'm not into that shit.
Right.
So I turned myself up to 10. Other people are themselves. So portraying and pushing a character to the world is way harder than, say, if I was myself. You know, people are going to grab to a regular person more than a character. A lot of people look at this right here and they're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I know that. But there's going to be somebody out there that's going to watch this and say, that's some funny shit.
Right, I agree.
That's who I go for, you know?
I agree.
I'm not out there to take over the world or none of that shit, but I'm out to just get some laughs and see where it goes. I want this to be my career. I want to do touring and stuff like that.
Well, that's a good point. So you've been in this for a year and a half now. You have over 100,000 followers, which is absolutely amazing. And with these 100,000 followers, like what are you trying to achieve? Like you trying to 2 million?
We're going
5 million.
I mean, hey man, it's I'm already here right now at just over 105,000.
So you got to 10x your goal, right? You got
Yeah.
10x your goal.
Shit, we're going to a
10
million.
million. 10 million. We don't want a million. You don't want 10 million.
10 million's a long-term investment, but hey, it's possible.
You got to be committed, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Being committed is commit first, figure it out later. When Rob and I decided we were going to do this podcast, we committed, got a hold of you, and we had to figure it the fuck out because we had no clue how we were going to put this together, guys. And things like this, making things come together and making things happen, and having, you know, what I deem to be and you know, Tommy, a relatively legit setup. It takes a lot of action.
I'm going to take a little second. I got to do some quick shout-outs here.
Oh,
we got my buddy Shelby Bryce down here. We got Mark Smith. He says Chevy or Dodge. I've owned them both. I've had better luck with Chevy. Dodge, not so much. Justin Hathaway says, what do I drive?
Justin, what does Justin drive?
No, Justin asks me what I drive. I drive an Impala and I've got a Sierra, but that's just the way the shit worked. It's not like I really wanted to. The Impala though, that's a sweet ass ride. That's the Pimp Pala.
And actually, I'm gonna throw you under the bus here. He pulled up to my house today. You wouldn't believe what was on this Impala. He makes fun of a lot of videos. I had a good chuckle. He had some rims on.
I'm about to flip the table over. Yeah, that's the Pimp Pala, man. That's
all right,
the 18s.
The Pimp Pala.
Those are the 18s, man. Those are the Forte rims. Man.
Have you ever roasted your own car?
Yes.
All right. Because I just think that you should.
I actually let a good friend of mine, LaMarcus Betts. He's a fellow comedian. He's north of me, out of what city is he from? Originally Detroit, but he's more like, you know, Clinton Township. That's where he's from. I let him go at it. I started roasting his, and then I flipped the script and let him roast my shit. And that was one of the funniest videos ever. If anybody watching remembers it, it's the one where I said, it's a pterodactyl shit. You know, people will remember that phrase if they're watching it, but...
That's good.
Frank McLeod wants a shout out. I'm going to get into Frank McLeod. Let me tell you, you asked me how I started. So, how this actually originated, Frank McLeod's like a brother to me, okay? He's like my little brother. How this came about was, he has got a truck page, Southeastern Michigan. He's got a truck page, and he said, I want to do a mock election to see who can be an administrator of this page, but you have to make a funny-ass video and have people vote on you based on your funny videos.
Right.
Frank messages me immediately. He says, dude, you got to try this. You have to fucking do this. I was like, all right. You know, I hesitated for a second, but then he just talked me right into it. I'm like, all right, if you think it's going to work, it worked. So I started doing it. People started to love it. They wanted to see more and more, so I said, hell, if I'm doing this, why don't I do my own fan page? But if anybody watching is wondering why I say I approve this message, it's because I was in a mock election, and it just stuck. So everybody that started watching me from the very beginning, I've been saying that since the very beginning. It wasn't really to rip anybody off or nothing like that. I was in a mock election. So if I'm going to do an election, I'm going big. I approve that damn message.
Right.
You know, but thanks to Frank, a big thanks to Frank is part of why I went full force with this shit, you know?
And so here's a good question that entails in that. Getting started, they say that in podcasts like such as this one, or in even doing live or creating your own fan page, the first 1,000 to 2,000 are the hardest to get.
Oh yeah.
They're the absolute hardest. And then so like I looked at your page the other day. You were really excited to break 100,000,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I look at it the very next day, and you're at 105,000,
Oh,
just like that.
It's just
right?
zooming.
And so, what are some of the things? Maybe some thoughts that you had when you were doing it, where it took a while to start growing. You remember like 2 or 3 months where it would just really
you want to know my honest thoughts on it? I
Yeah.
was like, for the longest time, I'm like, people are gonna hate this fucking dude. You know, they're gonna hate this person.
Right.
Like I was like, nobody's gonna grab onto it. It's going so slow, and then all it takes is one video,
Right.
really, or a few. But man, it's just when it started to go, I was just like, holy shit.
And it took off. So when I saw you in May, you had,
I had like maybe 5,000 or 10,000, man.
and that's crazy. So Joe, over the summer, you've exploded.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like again. There's comedians that actually started this year that have triple or beyond
I get
that.
it,
you
but
know?
we're not going to downplay your situation. You're doing very well.
I'm just modest, you know.
Right.
I'm
All
a
right.
modest
You be
person.
modest. You can be modest. So, when you were doing that though, like, are there certain things like consistency of videos or
Oh yeah,
that helped you propel?
I
in those
can't. I mean, I
areas?
can't tell all the secrets, but
Oh,
you know,
alright,
that's really one of the things is consistency. You know, you can't post a damn good video and then 5 seconds later post a piece of shit. You know, that's in layman's terms. That's just how it is. You got to stay consistent. You have to worry about your content. You know, I try to change the jokes up in every video. Certain things stay in there, like my
Oh, certain
real
things
life,
stick.
like my genuine actually hate for Florida Georgia Line. I just hate them fuckers. I don't really fully know why. I just don't like them. So that just stuck in every video, and people are, "What's up with the Florida Georgia?" I just don't like them.
He comes up, he's driving up, and he goes, I talk to him as soon as he gets up here, and he goes, man, I couldn't get any radio stations in, and so he goes, I know up north the Moose. I find the Moose, so I turn on the Moose, and the first damn song is Florida Georgia Line. I got a good kick out of that.
Yeah, well, it's true. Somebody asked me that the other day, actually. They said, "What's up with that? Is it real or what?" Yes, it's very genuinely real. Like, I just don't like them. That's just how it is. You can like them for all you want. Just like everything I roast or whatever, you can like it. I don't care. But it's just the way it is.
So here's a really big, I want to touch on this because it's really relevant in your scenario, but it's extremely relevant in life, right? A lot of people in life, whether it's with what I do in business, with what you're doing in your live videos,
Yeah.
what anybody does, people talk shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's just life. And so when it happens, a lot of people dwell on it or a lot of people sit on it.
Yeah, I've
it's
had my
hard.
moments.
It's hard, but you can attest to this. It's hard, like, if somebody says, what a stupid fucking video, it's hard for you not to at least say something back.
Right.
But a bigger, like, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't do anything to acknowledge it.
I mean, buddy,
you have to
I've
move
heard,
past it.
I've heard everything. I've
Right.
heard you're a piece of shit. You should go kill yourself. The worst shit in the world that you could ever say to somebody you don't even know. I've heard it all. You just have to
And that's what I'm saying. How do you, what are some, like, what helped you get through it?
help me get through it. You know, honestly, what honestly helped a lot was just talking to other people in the industry. Really, like, I know several different comedians that are doing this stuff with me. Well, not obviously with me, but they're at the same time. So
Right.
I just asked them, the guys that are in there longer, like, how do you deal with it? It just, you know, you got to just ignore it. Let the shit roll off your back, because at the end of the day, they're still watching your stuff.
Right.
You know, whether they talk shit or not, they just watched your video. You just got a view off of that. So who cares? Let them,
Right.
haters make me famous, I guess. That's how it's going to do. That's how it's going to go.
I love my haters.
Yeah, man. I gotta love the haters, man. I just was getting into it with somebody yesterday. I still have my moments where I'll get on there and run my mouth back to them, but that's just natural shit right there.
Well, and here's something that happens too, and it's nice to look back on these situations, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt with some of the companies that I've started that during the startup time when things are slow and things are hard and they're not going as well as you would like, right, before you hit 100,000 viewers in your case, when people are talking shit to you, it can weigh on you. and
Oh,
can
for
value.
sure.
And so
Absolutely.
a couple things is to always think about, to kind of drop a little bit of, you know, some knowledge on them, or what helped me and maybe what helped you as well, is that unfortunately a lot of people don't want to see people do well. Right?
No.
Even people that you know and you grow up with and that you believe are really good friends with you, when you break that $100,000 a year, or that $200,000 a year, or that 100,000 views, they'll be like, oh, he's fucking stupid, or
Right.
oh, it's dumb, or oh, he's ripping somebody off, or oh, he's copying somebody.
That's one of the easiest ones right there that you just nailed right on the head. Is a lot of them want to get on there and say, you're trying to be like this person, or you're trying to be like that person. It's like, that's not really that clever to me, because there's been a few times, like, I've been compared to Kenny Powers, for instance, from Eastbound and Down.
Which is, he's an awesome character.
And I've talked
I'd be
about that
confident.
earlier, but the honest to God truth is I didn't even know who Kenny Powers was until people started to say it. I'm like, I got to figure out who this Kenny Powers is. Just like Donnie Baker. I mean, I'll be flat out honest. 2 months into my videos, probably September, I started back so a month in. So last September is when I figured out about who Donnie Baker was. And a lot of people said I was ripping him off. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Right.
So I started to look him up, and there's similarities in our styling. I guess you can say, like, the hair and stuff like that, and the way our attitudes are. But in all reality, it's a pure coincidence. Like, there was no honest inspiration from Donnie Baker.
And he's never got mad at you, right?
No,
Right.
I've talked to him maybe once on Messenger. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, everybody talks very highly of him. It's just I've never got the opportunity to actually talk to Donnie.
So there you go, Donnie Baker. You ever want to get on a podcast with Tommy Gunn? We'll make it happen right here in Cadillac.
Yeah, no, he's everybody speaks very, very highly of him. His real name's Ron. Everybody speaks very, very highly of him, and I'd like to sit down and talk to him one day and stuff. And I don't even care about collabing or nothing. He's just a good guy. So
Well, and here's the point to that, though, right? Here's the point to everything that I'm getting at is that people are going to talk shit, guys. Guys are going to hate. You can be you could be at 100 million people or 10 million people or at $100,000 or $200 million a year. It doesn't really matter. There's always going to be haters, and so what we talk about a lot, and what Grant Cardone, I reference Grant Cardone a lot, but he talks about noise, right? It's all fucking noise. And so people are trying to get you off kilter. People are trying to get you off your game, to stumble, and you just got to plow right through it, because the reality is, guys, is a lot of the people that said, one of my companies is Keystone Retirement Services, I'm partnered in that company, but a lot of people said that wasn't going to make it, right? Or I'm partnered with Jake Hendrickson at Dark Side Studios. A lot of people said that we weren't going to be successful. And now that we're not only successful, but we're doing really, really well, you secretly look back and kind of just smirk at some of the people that said you weren't going to make it, right?
Right.
And so, when Tommy Gunn lands his first movie deal with his father, who's your father?
Tommy Gunn Sr., I guess.
Tommy Gunn, no, Joe Dirt.
Oh,
That's
Joe
what I
Dirt.
would say. You're like your father.
Was it my real one or my character?
Yeah. Your
Joe
father.
Dirt that owes my mama child support. Shit.
Yeah, there you go. But when that happens, though, or when something happens, people are really going to talk shit. Oh, you got lucky. Oh, you got lucky. Oh, you got lucky. But the reality is luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right?
Yep.
If at any point, you could absolutely stop doing these fucking videos.
Right.
At any point. But what keeps you going, or what I imagine keeps you going, what keeps me going in business is the big picture, right?
Oh, yeah.
The goals, like what you have to look forward to, what you can push past. Like, there's a million things that can keep you on track easily.
Yep.
To keep you from saying,
No
like,
doubt.
I'm done.
Well, speaking of videos, everybody that's watching this would be very appreciative if you guys could give this a share.
Share it.
So that way we
Share
can
it.
boost more people into
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, we want to reach a ton of people, guys.
Yeah.
Like and share the video. Feel free to like the podcast as well. We'd love you to like the podcast. We're going to continue doing this every Tuesday. I'm actually going to drop, so I don't know if I'm going to get the date right. I'm going to tell you a date. I think December 5th is 2 Tuesdays from now. Boy, I could be wrong.
I went to Taylor, Michigan schools. I don't know that shit.
All right, but what I'm getting at is we are going to have Alex Yonkman on, and so I'm going to drop her, a little preview. Alex Yonkman is 23 or 24, very young. I've known Alex for a lot of years, and she's had cancer for the last couple of years. She's got 3 kids, and she's going through a lot, but she maintains an insanely positive attitude. And so when you're going through a ton of shit, to keep positive is really important. And so stay tuned for that, guys. That'll be exciting as well. And so there's a lot of really, really exciting things for the future. Not only that, but I guarantee you this too. we are not gonna allow this to be the last time you're on our
Oh,
podcast.
I'll be back. I'm like the Terminator. I'll be back. And by the way, don't think that we're about to end this podcast.
No,
we're not even close to being done.
This is like my intermission. This is like my
yeah.
intermission.
We just had to do the plug. You know, we had to plug the Paradigm shift a little bit, get him going. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So here's so you mentioned you're from Taylor, Michigan. Give me some. So you're from Taylor, Michigan. Have you always been from Taylor? Did you live in Kentucky or Arkansas?
I was about to answer another question real quick. My
go ahead,
birthday
go
is
ahead.
July 29th, so if you want to send me a late birthday present, you're more than welcome to do that for
July
me.
29th.
Mark Smith.
That's why you weren't at our wedding. Our wedding was July 29th.
Exactly.
We invited him to our wedding. He said yes, and then he didn't show up. How does that? Fucking Tommy Gunn.
It was a sad dude. I got a lot of that birthday.
Let
Let me tell you about that
I'm just
birthday.
picking
That
on
was
you.
basically. I'll give you guys a little bit of a joke story real quick. We're gonna lighten this up even more. So
yeah, lighten it up, man.
my birthday. My last year, I did a video about last year's birthday. That's on my page. You can go watch that whenever you want. But this year's birthday was just as bad. So I hit up my buddy Sam. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Not much. What are you up to?" I said, "It's about to be my birthday." He's like, "Oh, cool. I'm over at midnight." I'm like, "Yeah." So it's July 28th, obviously. So midnight hit. We're at the bar over in Ferndale, Michigan, which is like not my President Village.
Not my president.
We go to the bar in there, and it's packed. It is super packed. And this bar is just, I was like, we got to go. We got to get the hell out of here. So we go across the street to another bar. It's packed just as much as the other one, but we said, hell with it. We're going to drink a beer. We get up to the bar, and this lady walks up, really tall, hot brunette. She kind of brushes up against my shoulder. I got a little bit of a boner. I'm gonna be flat honest. It was there, hey, I was ready to go. So Sam looks over at her and says, "What would you like to drink?" And she says, "I'll have a water. You gotta stay hydrated." She taps my head. I thought she was about to touch it and rub my hair a little bit. She's like, "You gotta stay hydrated too." I'm a short guy. Everybody can tell you that.
I didn't expect that actually. I remember seeing him at the Mud Bog. He come to my house today. The monkey jumps on him and stuff.
These people have a monkey, man. That's some cool shit. It's a lemur.
We you know what we should have done? We should have brought him on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
We should. We'll bring him on the next podcast. But I walked up and he's shorter than my wife and she's like this tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't expect that.
It's not
You
like
look bigger up, too.
it's not like Little People Big World or none of that shit. But let me
It's
tell you,
pretty close.
It's borderline.
It's pretty close.
It's borderline. It's I don't care. I'm still doing what I want. I don't give a shit.
Right.
So anyway, Sam says, "Hey, it's my buddy's birthday. You're gonna have a Corona with us if you don't mind." And she goes, "Okay, sounds good. How old are you?" I was like, 27. I don't know why the fuck I answered her because the way she asked me was kind of concerning. She goes, "Oh my god, 27? That's a lucky number." And I thought, my dumbass, I don't even know why I asked why, but inquiring minds wanted to know, so I said, "Why?" She says, "Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse. You get the trend, they're dead at 27. She goes, no, it's a good luck year for talent." I'm like, "You just said dead people." Like, no. That's not what's going to happen. I'm going to make it to 28, I promise you. She goes, "Well," she was fumbling. I'm thinking, that's your go-to? You're hitting on me and that's your go-to? Why is that your go-to? Because she was clearly, very disheveled when I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Was she like a 4?
No, she was about an 8. I'm not gonna lie, but I know why she was hitting on the short guys because the guys that are above my level couldn't handle that shit. So she goes, "Don't worry, it's because they had white lighters in their hands or in their pockets." I'm like, "Well, I got a blue one. I don't have a white one. I've got a blue one. So I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna make it to 28. God is my witness. I'm doing that shit."
Yeah, there you go.
That was my birthday this year. But you asked me where I'm from, so I'm from Taylor, Michigan. I was born in Garden City, Michigan, which isn't too far from there. But when I was actually growing up, I was actually raised between Detroit and Taylor, basically my whole life. It was like a ping pong match. We move here, we move there. I went to 8 different schools my whole life. 5 of them were elementary schools. That's some crazy adjustments right there.
That is crazy.
I was always the new kid. That's part of why I'm doing this, because I was the one that was going around making people laugh to make friends. That was my my key to making friends is making people laugh, and it's still my thing to this day. If I don't know you, I'm gonna try to make you chuckle to feel you out. If you're very uptight and you don't chuckle at a little joke that anybody else would laugh at, I'm like, "You're a douchebag." you know. But
you get a good sense.
that happens rarely, you know. I'm just looking at some.
I know it. Well, listen, I gotta replenish.
Jefferson, my buddy Jefferson Goldie from Chicago said, "So did I smash?" The answer to that is hell no, because I did not want to get an exorcist later that night.
That's the only reason. You're telling me that's the only reason you didn't smash? You didn't strike out just like as a normal strikeout. You
Dude, I wanted to strike out. I wanted to fucking I wanted to walk. Like, throw 4 balls, I'm walking. I don't want to even get a home run with this shit.
Right.
Like,
oh shit. I didn't mean to do that.
Whoa.
I didn't mean to do that.
Whoa, you're making it echo.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
He messed up my peridium. We have to shift that shit. I'm just messing around.
So, keep this in mind too. I don't mean to cut you off. I know that the moral of that story was that you just didn't get laid.
It was a bad.
Is that
time.
a common story?
Yes,
Ah.
It is indeed a very common story.
I'm just picking on
Hey, there's no picking on me. This is my woman right here.
Right. So, a part of what we wanted to bring, and part of bringing Tommy on, talking about the way that we came to this podcast too, is that we wanted this to be a little bit different than any other podcast you saw. Hence the reason that you're drinking a good craft Michigan beer.
Oh yeah, this is a Backwoods Bastard.
Yeah.
I never heard of this shit till today.
It tastes actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm
not like it's.
It's
not bad.
different. We're not.
It's different.
We're not knocking it.
No.
I mean,
Founders is amazing.
Founders, if you guys want to talk to Tommy Gunn.
There you go.
You know.
But too, you know what I mean? Having a little bit of scotch, you guys that watch me know I love scotch. Lefroy, I'm telling you what, if Lefroy ever wanted to sponsor me, you don't even got to give me money. Just give me a lifetime supply of scotch.
That's a pretty fair deal.
That's a really fair deal,
Yeah.
actually. But guys, so we wanted to bring something different. I didn't want to have like a tight ass up and up business motivation podcast. The reality is that businesses takes many different forms, right? Whether the forms are going to be selling cars or building a company or doing stand-up or music, like there's a million different ways that people are trying to grow and better themselves. And
What's stand up?
I don't know.
I'm just joking. Go ahead. I had
So
to do that to him.
What happens though is that a lot of these podcasts are based on sales presentations, or I can improve your sales, or a bunch of dumb bullshit.
There ain't no bullshit like that here.
No, and that's what we want to bring to you. We want to bring it to you a different aspect. At the core of everything, guys, the reality is that you can improve your situation wherever you are. So, not you, Tommy Gunn, but
I know my situation's just fucked.
no, right, but you still work a 9 to 5.
I'm gonna jump this out. I'm gonna jump out of this.
Oh, it's just getting real.
I'm gonna be real for a
Shit's
little
getting
while.
real. So, but what we're touching on is like Tommy Gunn has this great following, and we can say he's like Facebook famous, right?
Hey, boost my ego up. I'm down.
But that doesn't mean that that you're making it big and you're pulling in a bunch of money. You still got to grind, right? I have a saying that you work your ass off on your 9 to 5, and you work on your dreams from 5 to 9.
Oh, it's 2 jobs. It's definitely 2 jobs. There's been many days I would get home just beat tired. Excuse me. And you can ask my buddy Garrett has filmed so much of my shit, and you can ask him too. He'll tell you the same story. There's been plenty of times where I'm just beat tired, and like he's asking me like, "Hey, dude, are we gonna film this? Are we gonna film this?" And sometimes it's hard, man. Like I'll be flat out honest. Like some of my best videos were on the days like that where I'm dead tired, and he's just like, "Hey, are we gonna film this shit?" All right, yeah. So I get up and we start to film it, and boom, we just made gold out of it. But that's just because I had to get off the damn couch and go get this shit filmed.
Right.
It's not gonna come to you for nothing.
Yeah. I was thinking about this completely off topic. Right. It gives you a second to check your comments.
I'm just glancing.
I love
at
that
it.
you're
We
getting
got
blown up right now. I love that we're getting blown up right now. I couldn't ask for a better
Annie
term.
Hall from Romulus. She works over there. She works over in.
I told you that I wasn't going.
Animal control.
Yeah, I told you I wasn't going to have 2 glasses of scotch because what
he's
happens?
having
We have
2
a
glasses
long
of
night
scotch.
tonight. 2 glasses of scotch by number
We got
3. I'm going to
Mel
go home
Fay
to
in
bed.
here. Garrett stopped in. My buddy Rick stopped in. One of my good friends, Howell Jones. We've got James Crawford watching us from South Carolina. Anderson, South Carolina. Casey Patrick has given us a lot of love on here.
There you go.
Casey Graham, to be exact.
If you guys are in Cadillac,
Joey
Michigan,
Offinger I met him. He's from Ohio. I met another good guy from Ohio. I met him.
I tell you what, you meet good
I know
people
him.
from Ohio. If you can say that and you're from Michigan, you're a really good person.
Caitlin Finnerty.
Because I hate Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah, I'm not
But if you meet somebody good from Ohio,
Hey man, I gotta tolerate them.
They're a real good person.
It's just one of those things. I have to tolerate them. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get these.
no, you're good. But if you guys are in Cadillac tonight, make sure you not only say hi, but come out and check us out tonight. Have a good time with us.
Yeah, if you're near, I mean, I have no idea what you got planned. So name some of the places we're gonna be.
So that's what
showing
we're
up
doing.
at.
So I dropped a little Facebook message on there earlier, but we are going to we're going to be here for a while. We actually Tommy Gunn's going to roast a pretty sweet Jeep.
They talked me into it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna branch out. That's one of my main goals right now. Is I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna start doing other content. But you know, yet again, it goes back to where I started in the first place. Is so many people want to still see roasts and everything. I'm just trying to find my happy medium. So this Jeep, though, let me tell you about this Jeep.
Oh, sneak peek.
This son of a bitch is too good for me not to roast that shit. And you guys will be happy as shit whether you're tired of seeing the roast or not. Because this son of a bitch, I was like, hey, I don't care what I said earlier, I'm roasting that shit.
It's pretty good. So what we have is we have a party bus, guys, that's going to meet us here at Next Level, one of our companies. And we're going to get on that around 7:30, 8 o'clock or so. And then we're going to go to the old Clam Lake Brewery. That's a classy establishment. Whoa.
Well, you said Clam Lake. I mean, I hope maybe I can find something.
It's like the nicest place in Cadillac. We're going to...
Word?
Tommy Gunn is fixing to change that.
Oh, man. I'm going to tear it up. Clam Lake's going to be clam baked in a minute. No,
Oh,
I'm just
geez.
kidding.
And then we're going to go to the party bar. We're going to hit the Lake City pub and the Lake City Tap House. And then depending on where the night goes, man, we got a party bus until we kind of want to stop.
What he's basically telling you is...
We'll go to Traverse City.
If you're out and about and you live up in northern Michigan, around Cadillac, anywhere around this vicinity, if you happen to bump into us, these folks are on a quest to get me very liquored up this evening.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it by any means. It's a great time.
Until tomorrow.
But this is their quest.
Yeah.
It's just they're trying to ruin my day.
I'm trying to make it better.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They're not ruining it. They're just trying to get me drunk.
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good deal. I can promise you that shit.
That's good. That's good.
No, they're trying to ruin my liver. It's cool.
So I know you jumped out of your character for a minute. What are some? I know we hit on some obstacles you came across. We touched on people talking shit. You know, what are some things that you wanted to bring? Because you told me before, like a lot of people know who Tommy Gunn is. A lot of people don't know everything about your story, and I know we covered a lot of it. But is there anything that you wanted to just drop on them? Right? Anything you wanted to? If Tommy Gunn
pressure on you.
If Tommy Gunn was really hungover and had some sand in his vagina and wanted people to know,
First of all, you don't get hungover.
some emotional things about him. What?
I mean, I said you don't get hungover if you do it right. You got to take two Tylenols. You got to have a Gatorade as soon as you wake up. You're not going to be hungover.
Right.
Promise you that shit.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I'm an expert at this shit. Trust me. I don't drink very much, but when I do, I know how to not get hungover.
There you go. All right. Well, I don't have too much else that I wanted to ask. I appreciate you coming on, man.
I mean, what I can drop on them is the fact that if you're out there struggling, you've got debt, you've got, mounting problems in life, just know that if you keep hustling, keep grinding through it, eventually things are going to come full circle. Right. I talked to my buddy Rick yesterday, actually. He's one of my really close friends. I've known him for several years. And we were talking yesterday over there hanging out, and, that's one of the main things we focused on is just, I went through such a rough patch. I was in a bad relationship. I put myself into all this debt trying to take care of somebody, but hey, I wasn't forced to do it. That was my own decision. Right. I'm in a lot of damn debt, and I'm struggling to pay bills half the damn time. But the thing is I've got a bigger quest at hand to keep me occupied through it. Like, with all the damn problems I have in life, I can go on there and make people laugh, and that makes me feel better. That's what I have in life. So what I can tell people in that situation is find something that makes you happy to get you through those problems.
Well, and that's what I was going to touch on. I appreciate you bringing me back to that.
I mean, it's a pretty vague thing to really say, to be honest with you. I mean, I know it sounds super vague, but for real, that's one of the main things is you got to have a hobby in life. So
right, but that's a point that, like I said, I'm glad you came back to it, because the reality is, guys, is that we're not going to, or even Tommy, once you start doing better and growing, like,
right.
This doesn't just pay tenfold right away. Like, you have to be passionate about what you're doing, and not only be passionate about it, but you have to be motivated to do it every single day.
Oh, for
and
sure.
it's hard to be motivated about something you're not passionate about. And so with Tommy, like, let's hit on. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like,
Go ahead.
You got laid off just recently.
Yep.
And now we're hitting with, getting them out. If you guys want to book Tommy Gunn, dude, like right now, make sure you're doing it because his schedule is filling up. But he took this like leap
Yeah,
of
you
faith.
can. On that subject, you can message Daphne at 180talentgroup.com.
Yeah.
And she will be helping you out with that.
And that's awesome. So he took this leap of faith when he got laid off for the winter, that he wanted to keep diving into this. Instead of saying, I'm going to go find 2 or 3 more jobs and make this work, like this is your passion, right? You're committing to it. Sometimes when you put your back against the wall, guys, and you have to jump, it can be scary at first. It can be hard at first. It can be rough. You can get banged up and bruised up. Your bills can be late. You could get threatened to get kicked out of your home. But if you continue grinding, man, you continue grinding and you continue working for what you want in life, man, good things will come to you. I'll share with you something real quick. For those of you that know who I am, we have a couple different companies and we do small business startups. And 4-5 years ago, I look at my wife, she's over there, but 4 or 5 years ago, our power was off. Right, we cooked on, when my twins were there, when they were a year old, we cooked on our wood stove in our house because we didn't have propane to cook on. And so in 4 or 5 years, by grinding, we've really changed our quality of life. But guys, it didn't just happen, right? It didn't just come to us. We didn't get lucky. We grinded and we worked our fucking ass off every single day. And when there's times, so small times, I'm going to go on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But when there's times, guys, that you're saying that you want to make change or you want to do this, you want to better yourself, and you're not making any new action, you're not doing it, guys. That's all. You have to take accountability for that. Like, I'm huge on personal growth.
Yeah.
I'm massive on personal growth. Like, I'll be the first one to admit to you when I'm wrong because there's always something you can learn when you're wrong. And I'll be the first person to admit when something doesn't go right because we learn from our failures. I literally failed my way to success, right? I failed my way to the point that I'm at now. And you've had a lot of
you have to fail.
Right.
If you don't fail, you're not going to figure out what it's like to struggle through it. Because if it's just given to you, when you finally do fail, you're going to not know what to do. You're not going to know how to deal with it.
Right.
And I can level with you on the power thing. Last July, you can ask my buddy. I come home from work. And I figure out, shit, my power's out too. And I was so pissed because that was just one more straw. Like, that was the last straw.
It's not the power's out because the telephone pole went down.
No, it's like,
because you didn't pay your bills. It's this shit gets hard. You know what I mean?
I missed it by 1 cent. I come to find out that was a different issue, but still, I missed it by 1 cent, and I had to.
I missed mine by about 30,000 cents.
But still, I had to figure out how to come up with another couple $100 to turn that shit back on. So I'm pissed. I have my phone. I don't know why in the hell I did it, but I throw it right on my porch. So I'm like, well, can't make videos for a couple days. Holy shit.
Right.
And so I just fought through it. You have to fight through it.
Yeah, that's the big thing, guys. There's Jim Rohn, motivational speaker I listen to a lot, says.
Thank you, Jefferson and Rick. My buddy Rick. We talked about that too. Yesterday is he's a big inspiration too. I mean, a lot of people ask me what's one of my inspirations, and I told him flat out to his face yesterday that when I watch Rick get into something, for instance, like he's into drag racing.
Okay.
When he got into drag racing, he didn't just, I'm going to build a little tiny truck. No, he's like, I'm going to go fast. I'm going to make this shit run down the track. He goes, as he said right here, balls deep into everything you do.
Yeah.
That's a good way to live life, is balls deep.
And so that's a point that I'm saying. Jim Rohn, a motivational speaker that we listen to a lot, a big thing that you guys have to realize is never too high, never too low, right? When things are going really, really good, when summer is here and things are warm and you're outside and things are going great, winter is coming. We know winter's coming every single year. And so what I'm getting by that, guys, metaphorically, is that when you're riding high, when you're doing good, when you're making money, when your bills are paid, there's going to be a fucking time when things get rough, when you might get laid off, when cuts come, and you have to do good planning. You have to do good planning when you're doing good, when you're ahead, to be set up for winter. And then the flip side of that is when things are not going as well, when winter is here, when you are laid off, know that things are always going to get better, right? It's not going to last forever. But keeping those things in mind are really, really important.
Oh, for sure. That's no doubt about it. You just nailed it right on the head.
Man.
You know, as Dusty Rhodes would say, you got to go through them hard times to get to the good stuff. You know, he didn't say that exact quote, but he did say the hard times part. I know that for a fact, because I'm a wrestling nerd.
So, all right, guys, we are gonna wrap this up tonight. Tommy Gunn, man, Tommy Gunn, I'm fucking super grateful that you even decided to do this with us.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me for sure.
We look forward to not only having Tommy Gunn do some roast on a couple buddies' vehicles, what I think you guys are going to get a real good kick out of, but also...
Hey, you know what we're going to do instead? We're going to do something different. We'll take that one and take that one live, too. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, going live with it is fun. So, but you're going to see more from us because here's the nice part, guys, and this is what I encourage you to do. Network with people you don't know. Get to know people. Like Tommy Gunn and I met each other, last May, and we could have easily just went our own separate ways.
Right.
And what's happened is 6-7 months later, we've come together to really make some shit happen.
Oh, yeah.
With launching the podcast and getting a message out to some people. And I think that's great. So I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man. No problem, man. I appreciate you having me on here. And I'll be back.
So just so you guys know, I like to end it on a nice positive note. It is all downhill from here for tonight. We are.
My liver, pray for it.
Yeah, we are. We set ourselves up, guys. If you have an opportunity to come on our podcast, if we reach out to you, just know that we take care of our own. And so tonight we're going to go out. We're going to get on the party bus. We're going to get a little reckless, but be responsible. We don't drink and drive. We go on a party bus, right?
Yeah.
$500 for a party bus is way less than a DUI charge.
Right. And like you said earlier, if you want to book me, get a hold of Daphne, DAPHNE.
Yeah.
At 180talentgroup.com, and you can book me from there on the email.
All right, guys. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
I'm Tommy Gunn, and I approve this podcast.